And joining us on Skype this morning is Clayton King from Clayton King Ministries and Crossroads. You know the summer camps that he does and what he does with the youth, New Spring as well. And I'm grateful, Clayton, you're along with us this morning because there's so much that's going on with this whole coronavirus thing that's all over the news right now. And a lot of people seem to be operating in fear because of it.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are scared of it. I woke up this morning, checked my messages and checked the local and the national news. Seems like we're over 3,000 now on the death toll. And I also read just last night that in Washington, apparently, there have been some cases of the coronavirus spreading undetected for several weeks. And there's 2 confirmed deaths in America right now. But when you compare it, Rob, to the overall death toll of the flu, which happens every year, it's really kind of small. I hate to try to minimize it, but in reality, I think some perspective is helpful.
Very good perspective, too. And there's so many people. I know even my family's talked about it, and you seem to operate in fear because of it.
Yeah, and fear it can be a good thing. I'm afraid of spiders, and I'm afraid of cilantro, and I'm afraid of clowns.
Cilantro and clowns.
Yeah, so I believe it's kept me alive for 47 years, being afraid of those things. But there are some things that we shouldn't fear. And when it comes to something like the coronavirus, just to give some perspective, if you have a bottle of Lysol in your house, and you look on the back of your bottle of Lysol, it will say that Lysol kills human coronavirus. So this is not a new thing. This has been around for a while. The doctors and the professionals have understood it. They've known about it. And so I think that sometimes the hype can overtake us. But in reality, hey, man, we have the Lord. God's on our side. And we can have faith that God is going to protect us and God's going to take care of us. And we also have common sense. If you're traveling, wear a mask. If you're traveling, wash your hands. If you're going to be in big crowds of people, take some precautions, stuff that you would teach your kids to do. Wash after a meal, wash your hands after you touch a doorknob. There are some common sense things that we can do. We don't have to live in fear.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the things that you're even putting into practice because you travel around the world.
Yeah, my wife and I and our 2 boys, we just returned from Kampala, Uganda, and we were there just about 7 or 8 weeks ago. My wife and I preached to 130,000 people in Nelson Mandela Stadium, and we came home and everything was fine. And I'm also supposed to be leaving in just a few weeks for Israel. I'll be leading a team with Brad Cooper, one of our other pastors at New Spring Church, and so we're right now monitoring the situation. I'm kind of invested in it. I'm watching out for coronavirus news because Israel doesn't play around. They turned an airplane around the other day from South Korea, and they sent it back. They said, you're not even going to get off the plane because there were some folks on the airplane who had tested positive for corona. And so I am paying attention to it. But at the same time, if I do get on a plane, I think I'm going to be fine. I'll wear a mask. I'll wash my hands. I'll take all the precautions. And ultimately, I'll leave it in God's hands.
Right. And they have just shut down the Louvre as well. I think the employees were under that panic mode thing that you were just talking about because they have decided they were going to shut down the Louvre indefinitely. In France. So I think people are panicking, but I think the words that you gave us, just trust in the Lord, do the things that we're supposed to do, but don't let fear overtake you.
Yeah, and fear has a funny way of, it can get in the individual's heart, but then if we're not careful, we'll start talking to other people who are afraid too, and fear can begin to grow. And one of the things I like to say as a pastor is that faith replaces fear, but not without a fight. And so a lot of times we have to fight through that fear that we feel, and our world is more than happy to feed that fear. You can log on to your phone, you can check out the local news or the national news, and they're talking about this 24/7, and it's in the news cycle, and we need to pay attention to it, but we don't have to live according to that fear. Hey, I was at church yesterday. We had thousands and thousands of people. I probably shook hands or hugged 500 people yesterday, and not once was I afraid of catching the coronavirus.
That's good. Clayton King, thank you so much, man. You brought some hope.
Yeah, thanks, man. Good to be with you guys this morning.
Yeah, good to be with you as well.